You just gotta watch NewZeroland. It's a really good show about riding electric motorcycles in New Zealand.
Alright, well hey, welcome to another NewZeroland vlogs. I'm trying this whole new setup. I have a Sena 10S that's doing Bluetooth to the phone, and I'm recording this on Filmic Pro. All this cool, crazy stuff going on. So I wanted to use this as a test. I'm going on a really long ride up to a buddy's place to pick up some charging cables that he made for me for the new charging system. As you can see, I have one of the DigiNows, just the 3.3 in my tank, and as you can see, the bike is back to stock. What's that about? Well, I didn't want to carry the DigiNow in my backpack for obvious reasons. Wow, it's really windy today. And I took the onboard charger off, so this is the only charger I'm using now. So I'm going to take it up there and see how it works. So that intro I shot actually up in Auckland. I met up with another Zero rider from LA named Ryan Aylsworth. Super cool guy, super passionate about electric vehicles and the future. I think the dude is from the future. He's been touring around with Pink, doing photography for her concerts. He actually shot this photo of Pink.
Oh, yeah, that one.
This guy. Super cool, super talented dude. His bike is all modified and stuff. He's got the 10 kilowatt DigiNows too. Oh, come on, buddy. Why do you have to shift? Yeah, so this is kind of a weird video because you guys know I love electric vehicles. I created this whole YouTube channel dedicated to my bike because I love the Zero so much. But this is going to be a weird thing to say. I've owned the bike for 2.5 years, over 2.5 years now, and I've only ridden it 9,000 kilometers. That's like 6,000 miles, which I used to do in like 2 months when I was living in the States. But over in New Zealand, I live so close to work that I can just walk. And so it's a really different situation. You know, I realize that I'm riding basically what is designed to be a commuter bike, just as a toy. On the weekends, I'm going, to the twisty mountain roads, kind of like today. I'm going up to the Rimataka's fun racetrack road. And I'm going on road trips. But the road trips have always been kind of challenging because, you have to stop and charge, and it's difficult with the limited range of my almost 3-year-old, well, it's over 3-year-old bike. So I started thinking, well, what if I got a gas bike? I don't actually get to ride this bike as often as my YouTube channel would make it look like. So getting a gas bike, I wouldn't actually use that much fuel because I'm only riding it every so often. And then road trips would be so much easier because there's gas stations everywhere all over the country, and fueling up takes, 5 minutes. And yeah, going long distance is definitely still a challenge on the Zero. I know it's getting easier, but definitely not as easy compared to gas. So I thought about that for a minute, and then instantly no, I can't do that. I can't go backwards, because that's exactly how I see it. I don't see electric vehicles as an alternative to gas, like meant to exist side by side. I see them as the next step in this evolution of vehicles. We're transitioning toward all electrics, self-sustaining everything. And also, gas engines are just not exciting anymore. I mean, I know Ducati has that new V4, like the counterbalance crankshaft thing that basically kills the gyroscopic effect when you lean. But that problem doesn't exist with electric bikes. And my 3-year-old Zero has more torque than the new V4. So what's going on, Ducati? Oh, shots fired. But then, you have shows like Mighty Car Mods. I love those guys. They're so much fun to watch. But every episode is kind of the same. They either do an engine swap or they put a turbo in something. It's like, okay, this has been done a million times, and we're not really moving forward. It's like we're trapped. Okay, wow, it is super windy. So he's showing what's possible and showing the limited capabilities of what this technology can do. We're showing where we need to improve, and so it gives people ideas. way back in the day, Hollywood Electrics put a bigger controller on their Zero and took it racing. All of a sudden, Zero's like, what? You're interested in racing? What? You want more power? Okay, yeah, cool. We'll put that on the next bike. And what do you know? The Zero SR came out. And then it's like, hey, we want to go long distance. We want to go further than just 100 miles. Okay, well, let's put another battery on it. Here's a power tank. People want to go even further than that, so we need faster chargers. Well, here's a charge tank, but that's still not fast enough. We want to go 400-mile days or something. And we want to use 2 J stations, or 3 J stations. This guy's crazy. And thus, the DigiNow superchargers. Because if we don't push the limits, then the limits are just going to stay there. You need to see how fast you can go, how far you can go. 2 years ago, we didn't even have DigiNow superchargers, and now we have basically 10 kilowatts in a pan. Wow, there are no cars. Oh, this is amazing. The way I see it, we need to get into this right now. That's the only way these things are going to catch on. And I want them to catch on. I want these to be the future. The more people out there riding these things, the more demand we'll have for charging stations. And all of a sudden the map is going to look a whole lot easier for electric road trips. If I go back to a gas bike, none of that will happen. So anyway, that's how I feel about gas and electric living in harmony. I feel like gas needs to die as soon as possible and make room for cooler electric cars and motorcycles. Actually, I'm almost to my buddy's place, so I'm going to end this video by showing the new charging setup that will make plugging in this bike so much more easy and more modular for the crazy infrastructure that is New Zealand.
Oh yeah, 9.5 kilowatts.
Nice. That's between what, a Tesla, a Leaf, Zero,
and the house.
This is what it might look like when your friends come over to hang out in the future, where everybody's plugged in and you never really have to think about where to fuel up. So let's talk about the infrastructure in New Zealand. I want to eventually do a whole video about it, but this is just a little teaser. So in the US, people use J1772, which combines 2 of the DigiNow superchargers. And you can have a port on your bike for that, like a charge tank. But those stations don't really exist over here. My options in New Zealand are a bit more complicated. There's the monster Menicus Type 2 with 22 kilowatts of power, so I can string all 3 chargers together. And even maybe add 3 more chargers. Nope, I'm just kidding. But some of those Type 2 stations are only single phase, so I can only use 2 of the chargers. And actually the most common place to charge at the moment is campsites. They all use Blue Commandos, which I'd have to hook up individually to each charger. Just pretend those are blue. So since I need access to each charger individually depending on where I'm charging, I can't just have one big port on the bike where I plug in. And for this kind of stuff, the original Andersons were kind of a pain to use. There were just too many connectors, and unplugging them isn't the easiest thing to do. So with my buddy Patrick's mad wiring skills, I'll be using Neutrik connectors. These are a lot more compact, lightweight, more water resistant, and look how easy that is. So I'll mount 3 inlets right here so I can plug them in individually. I'll go into more details once the chargers are all mounted again and all the cables are finished. But that's a little sneak peek into the future of my bike's charging setup. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.